Wow, what a cool bunch of people to hang out with tonight. Huh? Let's see. All right, glad you're here. These are mountaineering boots. Nice Italian scarpas. They've been making mountaineering boots since 1938. I like their boots. It comes into the story later. There are 7 mountains in the world. The 7 summits, they're known. The highest above sea level, one for each continent. You know Everest, you know Denali, you know Kilimanjaro. The second tallest is South America's Aconcagua. Now I have a good friend. He's probably on the radio tonight on KXCI. He's known as Matt Moon on the radio. And yeah, KXCI. And in 1998 and 1999, along with our friend Mike Wilkie, he went to Aconcagua and with the goal of climbing the mountain, 22,831 feet, and doing cleanup. Because on high mountain camps, things happen. Tents get shredded, boots give out, parkas get burned up. One of the most common problems on mountaineering is stoves that have flames that are too big. And so I, at that time, was operating a guide service, Grand Canyon. Matt had gone to work for me as a guide. And I supported his first 2 trips financially. But when the third one came around, the winter of 2000 and 2001, I said, I'm in. I'm going. Now, to climb a mountain that size takes nearly a month. We went to Mendoza, Argentina, outfitted. You've got a lot of gear. You usually have 2 of everything. You have a tent for base camp, you have a tent that you're gonna go up the mountain. So it's a 2-day hike into Plaza de los Mules, the Plaza of the Mules base camp, 2nd largest base camp in the world, second only to Everest. And it's a little village during the season. It's January, which is summer down there, the climbing season. And there must be 5 or 6 little restaurants and tents and all kinds of different support. And we're a team of 10. We have a goal. Tom Whitaker, you can look him up later. He's an amputee and he was going to climb the 7 summits. And he had already done Everest. That's another story for another time. But our goal was to summit Tom. Now, these previous 2 years, my friend Matt had not summited. He had done a lot of cleanup on the first couple of camps going up the mountain. And the way it works on high mountain climbing, it's a 3-day rotation. After about a week in base camp, 15,000 feet, give or take, where you acclimatize, you allow your body to build more red blood cells so you can have a better oxygen exchange. You do a 3-day rotation where one day you carry a bunch of gear up to your next camp, then you come back down that day, then you spend a rest day, and then you move up. Now, something unusual happened to me at base camp. We had a number of things. Just the year before, George Mallory's body had been found on Everest. And it's still that unanswered question, did he and Sandy Irwin, did they summit? And we'll probably never know. But we had, being mountaineers, we had a lot of discussions about it, you know. And I reached a point where I said, you know, guys, even if they did summit, it wasn't a successful summit because they didn't come home and sleep in their bed again. To me, that's the definition of a successful summit. Something really unusual happened in base camp. We were there it was maybe about day 6. And a call goes out, Ed, phone's for you. We had satellite phones, you know. And I'm like, oh, wow. here, but what? So I go down, and my brother informs me my mother had passed. And it wasn't the huge sadness you might think. My mom had MS for over 15 years, and her quality of life had been non-existent for a decade. So it was a piece of information, and I processed what I could. Now, I had come to call this expedition the Crack of Noon Expedition, because there were 3 Britons on it, and some folks from Prescott College, and a couple of Tucsonans, and usually around 9:30 in the morning or 10 o'clock, some of these guys would wander out of their tents and look around and go, "What do you think? Shall we carry up today? Let's make some tea." But the day after I got the phone call, I said, you know what? It's time. Now, I've done a lot of climbing solo. You're not supposed to do that. But that's been the majority of my experiences. So to be with a team was different. But I was tired of waiting, and so that next morning I put my pack on, started up to the first of the high camps, Canada Camp. It's around 17,000 feet elevation. And on my way up, a white bird flew over me. And it circled around a bit, and then it left. So got to Canada Camp. The rest of the crew came up later in the day, and then the next day up to Nido de Condores, the condor's nest, where we got to spend 3 lovely nights as a storm came through. And until you've spent, 72 hours in a tent in 60 to 80 mile an hour wind gusts, you don't know what it's like to live in a drum. Matt and I, we get along well, fortunately. And then we moved up to Berlin Camp. There's a hut at Berlin, and we did cleanup, because that was the highest camp that had not been cleaned up. And we did clean up for 2 days. And then it was time to summit. And in my usual, not waiting around style, I was the first one out that next morning. And it's cold up at that elevation. And I had my nice traditional Italian climbing boots on, but they were not warm enough. And about 1,500, the last bit is a 3,000 foot climb on summit day. So you're starting out at almost 3,000 feet. It's 2,000 something. And so you're starting out, and you're up there, and we didn't use oxygen. I reached a point where I could tell my toes were going to frostbite if I didn't do something. And the sun was up at this point. You always start early on the mountain. I found a little alcove out of the wind. I took my boots off. I crossed my legs, got my feet behind my knees to warm them up. And about 40 minutes later, here comes Matt and Tom and John Dawson, who at that time was the director of Knowles in Canada. Amazing guy. I mean, he's about that tall, and he can carry as much gear as a mule, I swear. And here they come, and Matt comes over and says, look, I got a favor to ask you. Got any extra water? Because they were running low on water already. And I said, sure. And they summited that day. Success. I turned around, went back to the hut. Next day, I borrowed Matt's boots, and with 2 of the other climbers, Angela and Monkey. She is an amazing climber, Monkey, I'll tell you what. It's our turn to try summit. So I'm trying the second summit day, which most people, if you don't summit, you turn around and go back down, because I'd already been up there 4 days now. And so the last part of the climb is called the Canaleta, the canal. It's this narrow, maybe 40-foot wide slice in the mountain, full of boulders and loose gravel, but it's well sheltered. And we're heading up it, And it's about the last 500 feet of the climb. And it's obvious the storm is coming in. The clouds are starting to move across. The wind is picking up. Another storm. We get up, within maybe 75 feet of the arete. And the arete is that little narrow knife-edge ridge. That's the last 200 feet of the climb. You just walk in the arete. And Angela pulls out we documented this whole thing. It was all videoed and all. She pulls out the camera and we have our little discussion. And is it time to quit? Yeah, it is. We come to an agreement, turn off the camera, look at each other, and let's go up a little further. That's how we are. But we got up within 10 feet of the ridge, and the wind is fierce. I didn't summit 200 feet, but I climbed the mountain, and I came home and I slept in my bed. Now, we brought 1,500 pounds of trash down off that mountain. And when I got down to base camp again, I asked the park guards, what kind of bird was that? And they told me, there's no birds above Canada. There's never been birds up there. And we don't have a bird that's all white here. So, thanks, Mom.